Luther Spicer had leukemia. The service gave him that gift. The meds for his blood made his counts tank. He also had knees that were bone on bone. He needed surgery to walk. His doctors said no because the leukemia treatment made surgery too dangerous. The VA told him his knee pain was his own problem. They claimed leukemia did not cause arthritis. That was a lie. The court finally caught them. The Spicer versus McDonough ruling forced the VA to admit the obvious. If a service-connected condition stops you from getting better, they own the consequences. Now, the M21 TAC 1 manual was changed on May 1 to reflect all of this. It had to. The VA now uses a rule called the but-for causation. It's a simple logic test. Would your current medical problem be better today if your service-connected injury did not exist? If the answer is yes, the VA is on the hook for the secondary condition. This is a massive shift in how they view claims. It moves away from direct causes and looks at the reality of how your body actually works. Consider service-connected PTSD. It makes you a hermit. You stop going to the gym, you stop eating well, you develop type 2 diabetes. Under the old rules, a rater would say that PTSD does not cause diabetes without a bridge. They would deny you. Now, you can argue that your diabetes would be better today if you did not have the limitations of your PTSD. You're linking the conditions through your behavior and your inability to seek treatment. It's a modern way, really, to look at disability. Now, there are two sides to this coin, right? Optimists think the system is finally catching up to medical science. Doctors know that one injury can affect the entire person. If you have a service-connected lung issue that prevents you from doing cardio, your heart's going to suffer. The old VA ignored the heart. Now they have to look at the interference. This, I believe, opens the door for thousands of veterans who were told no for decades. It makes the natural progression excuse much, much harder for the VA to use as their shield. On the other side of the coin, skeptics see it as a trap. This update is a filter for the unprepared. You cannot walk into a CMP exam and just complain. The VA will use the word speculative to kill your claim. They want a specific medical narrative. If your records do not use the but-for language, you'll get a denial letter. The bar for evidence just got super, super high, even though the rules got broader. So what's the best way? Well, the best way to move a secondary claim now is through treatment interference. This is the Spicer method. You find a service-connected condition that makes it impossible to fix a non-service connected one. Maybe your service-connected back pain makes you too sedentary to finish a cardiac rehab program. Maybe your service-connected anxiety meds cause weight gain that leads to sleep apnea. That's the bridge. These are logical chains that the VA can't ignore anymore. You have to map every step of the chain. First of all, do not think you need to go buy a professional Nexus letter from a mill to win this. Those letters, well, they're often a waste of money. Not all of them, but some of them. The real solution is simpler. You need to use your own treating physician. They know your history. Talk to them specifically about the but-for logic. Request that they note in your regular medical records that your service-connected condition is hindering your recovery for other issues, if they agree. A simple note in your treatment file is going to often more powerful than any paid-for opinion. You also have the power of your own personal statement. Describe the daily reality of how one condition blocks the treatment of the other. Your personal statement's not going to solve it all, but it helps. Compare the new way to the old way. The old way was a straight line. It was A leads to B. The new way is a web. A prevented the cure for B, or A made the treatment for B dangerous. It is a more complex way to file. It requires more effort from the veteran. You have to literally be your own private investigator. You have to find the medical notes that support your chain of events specifically. The VA updated the manual to stay legal. They did not do it to be your friend. They don't do things to be your friend. The raters are still overwhelmed by this. They're still looking for the easiest path to a closed file. If your file is a mess of theories without clear medical notes, the easiest path is a denial. You have to make it easier for them to say yes rather than saying no. That means providing the but-for logic is in your own words and your doctor's notes. My suggestion, go read the Spicer ruling itself. Do not take my word for it. Read the M21 TAC 1 update from May 1st. Look at your medical records for contraindications. And that's a fancy word for one thing making another thing worse or untreatable. Find those words in your files. Talk to your doctor about how your service-connected disabilities block your other treatments. Get it into your records. If you don't do the work, the VA is not going to do it for you. So go do your homework. Keep fighting. Take care of one another. We'll see you in the next one.